happy Monday. Welcome to the Plug Talk Sports live show. This is episode 129. We have not a new face. She's been on our show before, but it's been a while. We have Alex Winley joining us tonight, special guest. Myself, Danny Torres, and of course, Jonka Brandon is out tonight. Might make a special appearance. Who knows? But we'll see. If you guys don't know, Alex is, in my opinion, the best Inter Miami writer out there. And if you guys just follow her on social media, like you'll continually be updated on everything Inter Miami is doing. She also has a subscription platform that you can subscribe to. And you can just keep up with everything there as well. Alex is a great friend of mine. I don't think there's a day that goes by where we don't talk to each other. We're very supportive of each other, and it's funny. I'm sure I've told this story on Plug Talk before, but it's funny how it all happened. I was working with Inter at the time, and she was covering the team, and we just became friends. And I invited her to the church that I go to, Christ Fellowship, and she started going. And then from there, like we're good friends, and she serves at church, I serve at church, and it's just awesome. It's awesome. So, Alex, again, welcome to Plug Talk, and just thank you for being here tonight.
Thanks for the intro. I don't think I deserve that, but yeah, thanks.
You're special when Jonko over here doesn't even get that type of intro. That's my best friend right there. He doesn't even get that type of intro. Well, anyways, usually how we kick things off on Plug Talk is we have our plug of the week and shameless plug, and doesn't have to be sports related. It could be anything from life, anything. So plug of the week is best thing that we have seen or encountered in the past week, and then shameless plug is the worst thing that's happened to us or we've seen or encountered in the past week. So let's do bad, because last week we did good. So Alex, what's the worst thing that you've seen or has happened to you in the last week?
Today, actually, I don't know if you guys read the news. There was some guy that set himself on fire somewhere, yep. and yeah, it's pretty insane. Yeah, it was. I don't know why he did it, but because I was just skimming, but it's just crazy how
it was something with Hamas and the war or something.
Oh,
I sent this to you, Daniel.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it yet.
It's a tough video.
Is it? Show it in the video.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's just the country's going crazy, honestly. It was a hard watch. Didn't mean to watch the full thing, but yeah.
That is tough. Jonko, what about you?
Bad. Not taking a shot at anybody, but I would have to say bad was that the first half of yesterday's game, the Inter Miami game, that first half of that defense was probably the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I know they played bad during the preseason, but I've never seen it that bad to that extent. Thank you, at least Drake Callender, for saving the day in some sort of way. He can't block them all. Obviously, that goal went in, but I have no words for that atrocious thing I just saw in the first half. I have no words. I know, Alex, we're going to talk about it later, but I'm kind of heated with that thing right now.
For me, it's gonna have to be went on a trip with friends this weekend. I ended up being a great trip, but it did not start off. Honestly, it did not start off good. We get to our hotel. It's like midnight. We're all tired. We've been driving for 4 hours, and when we had 2 separate rooms. When we get to our rooms, it was 3 guys and 4 girls. 3 guys were in one room, 4 girls in another. The girls' room, the lock on the door did not work. So and you can tell there was scratches and bangs around the lock. So it's it feels like there was an attempt at one point to enter that room before. It was just really sketchy. We had a birthday cake for one of our friends, and we opened up because it had a kitchen in the room. we opened up one of the drawers to get utensils to cut the cake, and it had like cobwebs on it. And yeah, the beds were fine. Just everything else was just not cleanly. It was like one of those hotels where you need to wear sandals to shower. We went downstairs it was honestly 1:30 in the morning, and we told the hotel, "Hey, tomorrow we're checking out, and if you can refund us for the 2 nights that we're not going to stay here," which they agreed to, thankfully. But we were just gonna have to hunker down and just deal with it for that one night. I mean, at this point, like we went to bed at 3:30, so at that point, I was like, in a couple hours we're gonna be awake. So screw it. As us guys being gentlemen, we didn't want to leave the girls in that room, so we all slept in the same room. Literally 3 guys, all the 4 girls in one bed, which I don't know how they did. It was 3, and then one was sleeping, sideways, and then 3 guys in one bed. I mean, there was a couch, but the couch was nasty, so no one wanted to sleep on the couch. We all slept. Man, listen, I told my friends, I was like, there's nothing else. Like, no bonding can get us more close than this when you sleep cheek to cheek with one of your friends. There's no more close bonding than that. It was very uncomfortable. I slept 2 hours pretty much. One of my friends wakes me up 5:30 in the morning, just taps me, and he's like, "Hey, I'm going to the bathroom." I'm like, "Okay, what do you want me to do about that?" And he comes back, wakes me up again. He's like, "This is the longest night ever." And there's a picture. Honestly, let me find I have the picture here. This is when guys, that this is bad. I have the picture here. Let me just scroll up and find it. Honestly, now you look back on it, it was really funny when you look back on it now. But in the moment, it was not fun. And we were like, we need to get out of here. Okay, here's the picture. This is what one of our friends did to the door when we went to bed.
Oh my gosh, that's smart though.
Yeah.
So I looked at that picture. Yeah, I looked at that picture. I'm like, I look back at it now, I laugh, but in the moment, I was like, man. Thankfully, I was able to book a hotel and get us out of there. And we were in a nice, safe place for the next 2 following nights. But definitely, that was the worst. I'm going to tell you, that was the worst. Let's go to plug of the week. Something good. Alex, talk to us. Something good in the past week.
Something good. I'd say recovering from this stomach bug I had. Yes. Finally, I went to Disney, ate something bad, and it just didn't go well. And I'm finally getting my appetite back and getting my weight back up because I was dropping some pounds. So I would say that's a good thing that happened this week.
Listen, that it's not fun, and I think John could know. The last time I had that, and probably the first time I ever had that, was 2018 during the 2018 World Cup. I think Janka were supposed to watch a game together, and I told him, I'm like, bro, I don't know what's wrong with me, but I am literally pooping and vomiting at the same exact time. And I don't know which one. Should I sit on the toilet or should I put my head in the toilet? I don't know which one to choose. But it's both happening at the same time, and it's not fun.
So bad.
I spent that entire day just sitting in the bathroom floor until I finally went to urgent care, and I got like an injection, and it was bad. It was the stomach virus. It's not fun. So I'm glad that you got past that experience. It's just not good.
It's not.
I don't know if Janka's ever had a stomach bug before, but it's not fun. Janka, tell us something good.
Well, I have 2 things. One, F1 is starting on Saturday. Well, Friday, Saturday, and then I didn't know this. You guys, if you guys watch the show, you know I'm a Canes guy, but I didn't even know this, bro. When I'm shocked, I didn't know the Canes had a hockey team.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know they had a hockey team. They're Division 3, and they ended up winning the Division 3 hockey championships. So now next season they're going to Division 2 hockey. But I was just blown away that they even had a hockey team, and they don't even have a men's soccer team. So make that make sense. I don't understand.
Oh yeah, that doesn't. Yeah,
it doesn't add up. You would think in South Florida where it's sunny out all day and raining, you would have a soccer team and not a hockey team. But hey, shout out to the hockey team. They won.
Yeah.
Hey man, what kind of real Canes fan are you? Even I knew that, and I don't like the Canes.
I didn't even know. I don't follow them, but like, it is a bit weird. No soccer team. FIU has a soccer team, but
Even Barry has soccer.
Yeah, like it's strange.
For me, Jonka already said it. F1 is here. Man, I'm so excited. Look, Alex, you need to encourage Jonka a little bit more. I got him into it. And I told him, I got him into it, and I literally told him, which, by the way, Alex was the one that got me into it.
Drive to Survive, I think.
Yeah. She got me into it through Drive to Survive, which, by the way, Jonka, you need to watch it. The new season is out, and it's great. Much better than last year's.
Yeah.
I told him, he was like, oh, I'm going to try to watch the race on Saturday. But I told him, quali is fun. Like, quali is fun to watch. Like, the free practices or whatever, but qualifying is fun to watch. And I told him, you need to watch qualifying. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to fully immerse him into the F1 world. And I think the two of you will be great friends because Alex is also a Mercedes fan.
Well, I'm not a Mercedes fan. I'm strictly a George Russell supporter. Like if he moves back to Williams, like I'm a Williams fan. Like it's wherever he goes, I will support that specific team. Mercedes has not been in good shape for a couple of years now. You know, Lewis is moving to Ferrari and that, and yeah. But actually, I have it right by my desk. I have this like little Lego Mercedes figure. I don't know if you can see.
Oh, it's so awesome.
I saw that at Target.
Yeah, I customized it with George's number because he wasn't at the team at the time. But yeah, I spent was it $30 on this? So it was affordable. But yeah, I'm not a Mercedes fan, just a George Russell supporter. So
Jonka's a Lewis fan, and I asked him today, are you going to be departing Mercedes with Lewis? And he said no. He said, I'm staying with Mercedes. So you know what?
Good for you.
Respect.
Yeah.
Anybody but Max. Max can die for all I care.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, I told him you still have George Russell, so that's something to be excited about.
And also, I'm a Monster Energy kind of guy, and the rival is Red Bull, so I'm not going for Red Bull either. So.
Oh yeah, I think Monster moved on to McLaren. I think
they did.
Yeah.
Hey, anybody but Red Bull.
That's fair, honestly. Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, that would be my good. Just excited for the F1 season to start. But anyways, let's get into the first topic of the night. They're actually playing right now. The Miami Heat are taking on the Sacramento Kings. Currently winning 7-5. I mean, it just started. But the question is, what was the best NBA team in February? So kind of not talking about the Heat. I mean, we'll get into it, but best team in February in the NBA. I'm not going to lie to you. Miami did make it impressive at the end. Like halfway. Like I know we're this week's the end of February, but like right before the All-Star break and even coming out of the All-Star break, like Miami got their stuff together. But I would have to say, man, I got to look at the standings. Most impressive team, I'm going to have to say the Cleveland Cavaliers. I mean, they had a 22-game winning streak. And honestly, I didn't know about it until I looked the day it ended. I saw it. And I was like, man, they came close to Miami's 27 when LeBron and Wade and Bosh were together. And that's absolutely crazy for this Cleveland Cavaliers team. So I'm gonna have to go with them being the best team in February. I don't know if Janka or Alex wants to go next, but yeah.
Alex.
I'll interject here and say I don't watch much basketball until the playoffs come on, so I will defer to you guys on this, and I'll just have a witty comment here and there.
Okay. Well, I got my notes here. Shockingly. I'm gonna have to say the Warriors. Since the ending of January till now, they're 9-2 record. They're tied for first in defensive rankings. Was it? They're third in the NBA in points per game difference at 10.9. Second overall in offensive efficiency at 121.6. All this is when Draymond came back, by the way, and then Clay will also move to the bench. As of right now, Dre has gotten no technicals since he's come back. He's shooting better, and he's passing better, and he has, I think, the highest percentage on the team from 3-point with at 43.8, career high. Kuminga, Wiggins, and sorry if I mess this up, Brandon Podzemski.
Yeah, you got it right.
Yeah, he's playing out of his mind right now. The rookie Tracy Jackson Davis is getting great minutes. The dude has been on a tear right now. I don't understand what he's riding the bench, and all of a sudden now he's putting up. He was averaging 6. Now he's like at 12, 15 points a game because you producing good minutes, you're gonna get more playing time. That's how it works. Chris Paul comes back, I think this week or next week. He said he's gonna go through more practices. I'll take that. He can lead the second unit, giving Curry some more needed rest because Curry can't do it every night. If you're expecting, and Clay, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to say this about Clay. Listen, I'm gonna say this about last night's game. Clay had 21 points halfway through the second quarter. Make that make sense, right? Hold up, I'm not finished. He ends up with, think about it, 6 minutes left in the second quarter. Till the end of the game, he only produced 2 points. Yeah. How do you expect Steph to work with that, bro? They had the lead, and because of him not producing anything the whole second half, they lost the game. They had 19 losses. Think about this. I know the Warriors are in 10th place right now behind the Lakers.
They're definitely not the best team in February.
I think they're best team, but I think they're being a little bit underrated. I know by the media because the media likes to glaze LeBron, but I'm gonna say this: the Warriors have 19 losses with at 10 or less points in the game. They have how many? They have 11 losses when the points are 5 points or less. So the games are being really, really close. So I mean, it can go either way. But the improvement where they were before, they were like 28th in defense, to now being tied for first in defensive rankings. I think that's a miraculous comeback. If they can continue to move this on, they could at least get a little bit higher, maybe 8th or 7th in the West, and they don't have to be in the play-in. Because I know one team is going to be definitely in the play-in, and it's going to be the Lakers.
Alex, Janka's not a big LeBron or Lakers fan, especially that his brother, let me just put it this way. His brother was a Cavaliers fan, then became a Heat fan, then became a Cavaliers fan again, and now is a Lakers fan. So
declared.
There's a common denominator I feel with that LeBron moving around.
And then
just assuming.
And then there's something else that really triggered me because he's right next to me, and I hope he hears me. It was the All-Star weekend, right? LeBron legit did nothing in that game. All he did was a few tomahawk dunks. He looked healthy and everything, right? He takes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then goes to doesn't play Thursday against the Warriors, who are just right behind them. Then decides to play against the trash Spurs, wins that game, and then continues to play the way. Why didn't you play the Warriors? Because he wants to play good against the bad teams and doesn't want to put in the effort against the good teams.
Well, apparently he had, and I'm like, you played in the All-Star game. You had a couple days of rest after, and then you come out and always say, I have an ankle injury. And then miss that game and then come back and play that following game against San Antonio. Yeah, it's a little sus if you ask me.
Trying to control the narrative. That's all he does.
So you're going with Warriors.
I'm going with Warriors.
Okay.
I know Brandon would say the Celtics because I don't think they've lost. But
yeah, that's another thing, Alex. Brandon is a very big Celtics fan. And I'm not going to lie to you, the last 2 years, me,
I know, I feel the same pain.
We've gone at it. We have gone at it in our group chat. Yeah, I love Brandon, and if you're watching this, I love you, but I hate the Celtics with
that I do know. I don't like them either.
With a passion. With a passion. This is how much I hate them. I know. God bless him. Talking about the Heat, there was a fight in their last game against the New Orleans Pelicans, and that's why Jimmy Butler is not playing today. He was suspended 1 game. Who else, Jonker? Who else was suspended 1 game?
Jovic.
Okay, Nikola Jovic was also suspended 1 game for their participation in this fight. Listen, was the suspension really necessary for Jimmy Butler?
I believe it wasn't. I think it was falsely given to Jimmy Butler because the guy put his hands on Jimmy first on his neck, and then what do you think? Expect Jimmy to just walk away? Okay, thanks, buddy. Yeah, I'm gonna walk away. Nah, bro. If somebody puts their hands on my neck, I'm going at him. I'm swinging.
But did he touch? The thing is, did he even touch him? Like, did Jimmy touch the guy back? I mean, he didn't even throw a punch or anything.
Yeah, yes, but it's retaliation. So I don't. If it were me, I wouldn't have suspended because it was because of the other guy touching me first.
And I think they suspended him for his whole antics of what he did after walking to the locker room. Which, by the way, Jimmy Butler is one of my favorite humans on this planet. This guy is so funny. He was walking out the arena after getting ejected. He was telling everybody, he was like, just wait. Just wait. Just wait. You don't want to mess with me. Just wait. And any team that has messed with Jimmy Butler like that, Jimmy is 4-0 against those teams. And it just gets better. He gets suspended, and he literally gets a picture of the cover of the Bad Boys movie of Will Smith and Martin Lawrence and photoshops his face and Jovic's face on the cover and puts Bad Boys on. Jimmy's one of my favorite people ever. But yeah, I don't think he deserved that suspension. Then we got Jose Alvarado over there for the Pelicans acting like he's like Muhammad Ali and he doesn't even play, but look, there's those people that don't play and they're on the bench the entire game. They only see like 1 minute out of the entire game, but when there's a fight, they're there and they think they're the toughest people on the court or on the field or whatever. That's Jose Alvarado. I don't know what he was doing, but yeah.
Anything, Alex?
I saw bits of the fight. It didn't look too serious, honestly. I thought, didn't Jimmy get pushed first? And
yes.
Then it kind of escalated. So yeah, I was confused to why he got suspended.
I think that fight was so unnecessary. It was just a hard foul on Zion Williamson. It was a fair foul. I would have done the same thing. Hey, you don't want him to score, so you gotta let him score. You gotta foul him. So and then Zion took it well. He just got up. He's like, all right, bro, no problem. But for some reason, the whole bench just cleared out and just started going at it. Like, okay, they took the nerve.
The thing is that Zion after the game said he was like, oh man, like there was nothing serious about it. And like Kevin Love, it wasn't even Jimmy Butler, it was Kevin Love that fouled him, and Kevin Love like shielded him from falling to the ground and helped him up. Like, what was the whole big ordeal about this? That the freaking team just starts running off of the bench and onto the court.
At this point, if this keeps happening, just both benches just have them in a dugout and have the door locked. And then whenever somebody needs to make a substitution, they just have to walk up the stairs and then go to the thing and just like, all right, I'm subbing in, bro. All right, open the gate.
Like hockey in a way.
Yeah, in a way, yeah, technically. But having like the floor sank into the thing, so that they can't just run in. But
Yeah,
it was fun. And Thomas Bryant. That's right, Thomas Bryant. I like that because he was quiet this whole damn year. I'm like, what does Thomas Bryant do on this damn team? And I like the emotion. I wanted to see. I need to see the tenacity. Bring that in the playoffs. We're beating Boston's ass. So, yeah.
Man, listen, that little fight right there and this little run that the Heat have going, that could be the turning point. That could be the turning point of this year. And listen, we have complained about them so far this year. We don't know what they're doing. Pat Riley didn't trade for anybody in the deadline. I kid you not. If the Heat pull what they did last year through the playoffs and make it to the finals, like, I'm just gonna stop talking because I don't know what else to say. Like, they just make it happen. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. But yeah, Pelicans from their side, it was overreaction from the NBA. I don't think anyone deserved to get suspended in this. The thing is bogus, but it is what it is, right?
It should have just been either a technical or somebody or the person who started the fight gets ejected.
Right. It could have been the ejections. It could have been fine, whatever. But the suspension, I mean, come on. Like, that was a little much.
It wasn't like an atrocious fight. Like, it was just, okay, hands away, whatever. Just split it up. Okay, both teams went their way. Miami Heat won. You lost. Okay, whatever.
It's not like anyone tried throwing fists. It was just pushing. That's all it was. Anyways, moving on to the next topic. The Marlins have acquired Tim Anderson from the Chicago White Sox. Is that enough? My answer is no. That is not enough. Yes, you get Tim Anderson, but like, what about the rest of the team? I mean, yes, you have Jazz Chisholm. I think he's probably ticked off because the Marlins took him to court in an arbitration case. You're literally taking your star player to court. That doesn't make sense. So he's probably ticked off about that. Garrett Cooper just left. John, who else left? There was another big name that left.
Jorge
Soler left. Was their number one home run hitter last year. Was probably the best player on the team last year. He left. Sandy Alcantara is out because of his injury, and that's their star pitcher.
They signed some other pitchers that aren't a big name, but they did.
But yeah, that's the thing about the Marlins. They're like, oh, but we signed somebody. I'm like, yeah, but nobody knows who they are. Like, nobody knows who they are.
Damn, what's his name? Cody Bellinger resigns with the Cubs. Thank you, Lord, for not signing with the Phillies.
Look, I'm gonna tell you right now, like, this team, you look at them. Let's look at their roster. Like, you look at the bullpen, it's like,
it's not good. It's not great. It's not bad. It's just
okay. It's like mediocre. It's mediocre. And then, catchers, you got Christian Bethancourt and you got Nick Forte. It's all right. And then, like, your infielders, Jacob Amaya. Now you got Tim Anderson, Luis Arias, Josh Bell, John Birdie, Jonah Bride, Jake Berger, and Xavier Edwards. Like, for me, Tim Anderson, Luis Arias, and maybe John Birdie. Like, those are the good guys in that infield. The other guys, it's like, who are you? Outfielders. Fidel Brujan, Jazz Chisholm, Brian De La Cruz, Avisael Garcia, Nick Gordon, who is D. Gordon's brother. That's another player they signed. Victor Mesa Jr., Dane Myers, and Jesus Sanchez. Like, out of that, I'd say Jazz and Brian De La Cruz are probably like the best players out of there in that outfield. Like, the problem with the Marlins is that this team, every single year, the organization's like, we're in a rebuilding mode. I'm like, how many times are you guys going to rebuild?
Every year.
Every year it's a rebuilding mode. And then, each year it's like, oh, we got a different owner. We have a different CEO. We have a different president of baseball operations. Like, their excuse, and I was on a phone call with somebody from the organization. I'm not going to say details or anything or any names, but we had a good discussion. They were like, oh, but we made the playoffs. I'm like, you made it to the first round of the playoffs? You
Isn't it
played
wild card?
the wild, yeah, not even first round, wild card. You made it to the wild card. You played the Philadelphia Phillies. The Sirius didn't even have a chance to come back to Miami because they lost every single game in Philadelphia and got swept. How do you see that as an accomplishment of just, and that is the difference between a winning organization and a losing organization. A loser's mindset is going to be happy. Oh, we just made the playoffs. Like, that's good enough. A winning organization is like, no, that's not good enough. We want to make it to the end and we want to win a championship. That's the goal. But really, if your goal is, we made it to the playoffs. Like, let's just be happy with that. Like, what are you setting yourself up for? There's a reason why, and I told him there's a reason why this city has a great potential to be. It is a baseball city. I think it's a baseball city. It has the potential to be a baseball city. There's many people in this city that love the sport, but people are just frustrated and tired that they get their favorite players. They get sold all the time. You see them go to other teams, and they end up winning World Series in another team right after, and it's usually the year right after they get traded from the Marlins. So people are tired of that. I mean, you look at the Caribbean Series when it was here, World Baseball Classic, stadium packs out, sells out. And that could be the same with the Marlins, but they're just tired of the way this organization, functions. So, long answer, but no, I don't think that Tim Anderson is enough. Jonka, the floor is yours.
I don't know what else to do with this team. Like, every week I have to bring up the damn Marlins because they irritate me so much. Like, you guys know I'm a Yankees fan, but I was also born a Marlins fan too because I was born here. But yeah, whenever they had all-stars, great players, they just in a year or two you just got rid of them. Like Ricardo Stanton now with the Yankees, he's been okay, but they offered him way too much money. And the Marlins weren't able to pay him. He wasn't like when he was on the Marlins. He was the guy. Like he was giving you good production every year, but they gave him money that they didn't have or they couldn't afford him anymore. And then also Christian Yelich. I loved how Christian Yelich was left, and all of a sudden the very next year he's the NL MVP. Like make that make sense?
Yeah.
And then I hate that they say, "Oh, we made the playoffs," but yeah, you made the playoffs because Luis Arias had a great stretch where he was hitting cycles, triples every game, doubles, home runs, hits when they needed them most. Like you can't guarantee he's gonna do that again this season because I feel like he had a really good season. You don't
There's a little bit of luck involved with that to happen.
Yeah, like you can't guarantee he's gonna do that. Sandy Alcantara was able to give you really good games and maybe give you like maybe however many starts it was, maybe like a couple more games. You don't have it anymore. You don't have a closer. You don't have a reliever. You just got a bunch of no-name pitchers and some rookies. Like that's not good enough. And including that, you got rid of Soler, who led your team in home runs. Where are you going to pick up home runs now? Because I don't think Tim Anderson is that big of a home run hitter than Soler. Josh Chisholm, he's big time, but the problem with that case, and I think Arias also had one too, if I'm correct. Yep. So like this team is in disarray. They had the manager from last year, the lady, I forgot her name. Sorry about that, but I had doubts about her, but she proved me wrong. She made a really great lineup.
Yeah.
But then now all of a sudden she left because they didn't want to pay her, and I think she was fed up with the owner being cheap and not spending the money where they needed to. And now look, Blake Snell, Cy Young winner, has not been picked up. Jordan Montgomery, another pitcher, has not been picked up. And I'm pretty sure there are a bunch of players from Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Cuba, Venezuela, Jose Altuve, damn bastard. Like it's really frustrating because every damn year I see in multiple teams just this random new player that comes out. He's from one of these South American countries, and then you would think, damn, the Miami, the city of a melting pot of basically every Latin American country in one city, can get these players that want to play in the major leagues but aren't given the chance to, and you can pay them very low. You don't have to pay millions of dollars. I don't understand what is the problem. If you want to be cheap, be cheap. You know, the A's have done that all their life. They've already set themselves as a cheap franchise. But you know, they work with what they got. This guy, this owner is just, he's on purposely not spending money. He's not doing it. This team can be so much better than it is. I can legit take a trip to Cuba right now, go to a middle of a field, and I'll find three next Hall of Famers. And I don't know what they're doing. Like the Caribbean series. Hey, did you see a prospect you liked? Hey, you know what? Let's give this guy a 10-day contract. Let's see how he does. No, he didn't work out. Let's try another guy. Maybe you find a diamond in the rough. You don't know. These people don't do. I don't want to say because, you know, explicitly, but like they don't do baloney. This team is on the down, bro. They need to fix something, bro. I can't. I'm gonna have an aneurysm if we keep talking about these damn Dolphins. And I said Dolphins. I didn't even say Marlins. I said Dolphins. The Dolphins are no problem too.
I feel you, man.
Alex, Daniel and Alex, before I pop a vein, take it away because I can't anymore.
Listen, I understand your pain. Like, my poor grandfather, before he passed, literally told me, man, I'm never going to get to see the Marlins win another World Series. And he laughed about it, and I literally told him, it's okay, Abuelo. I don't think I will either. That's how bad it is.
Yeah.
That's how bad it is.
Oh, and the audacity of the fan fest we went to, that they're declaring that they're gonna make it again. Like,
yeah.
If next year they're not asking him the real questions at Fan Fest, I'm gonna walk up to that podium and I'm gonna give them the real questions.
Yes. So Alex, there is a Q&A that they do with the fans.
Oh, wow.
And depending how this season goes, at next year's Fan Fest, Janka will volunteer to get the microphone and ask a question, which I'm not going to lie, I'm a little afraid.
If it happens, yeah. I need everybody to videotape it, only in Dade, only in ESPN, only in Dade. Everything, MLB, MLB Network, MLB, the damn show, the video game, will have to post me on it because I'm going to give them a piece of my mind.
Oh, I'm scared. I'm excited yet scared for that moment.
I don't care if I get kicked out of the damn stadium, Lone Depot Park. What is that, bro?
Lone Depot.
Can't get anybody else, Flanagan Park or something. Flanagan. Everybody else
Flanagan Park.
Flanagan's Park.
That would be better than what's the Heat like?
Oh, Kaseya Center.
Yeah.
Like, what is this?
Like, no one knows what Kaseya is.
No, what is that?
I mean, I knew, but it's not as good as what it was before.
And before was FTX Arena. It was crypto.
I know Miami's the only team that has like decent stadium names. Drive Pink, and now they named it to Chase Stadium, which is the bank now. So
I don't know how I feel about that because yes, it's good sponsorship, but like I feel like Drive Pink was like original and local to Miami.
Yeah, Auto Nation. Yeah, it was. I liked it, and now every time I write about something, I gotta change it to Chase Stadium, which is all right. But
talking about Inter Miami now we're on Alex's A game right here. Got her fired up now, ready to go. First two games of the season are in for Inter Miami. It was a 2-0 result on opening night. It was last Wednesday against Real Salt Lake City. It was at Chase Stadium. I almost said Drive Pink Stadium. Yeah. At Chase Stadium. and then on the road last night at Dignity Health Sports Park against the LA Galaxy. Let's talk about both games. Alex, I'm going to give you the floor to talk about both.
Yeah, so the first game, I was shocked in a good way. Preseason wasn't the best for Miami, but against Newell's, their last preseason game, they played a lot better, and the potential was there. They just all of them were playing at like 50% because they didn't want to get any more injuries and all that jazz. Against RSL, they played in the first half specifically. They played really well, and what I expect them to play like for the rest of the season. They dominated possession. They didn't give up too many chances. They were able to get chances themselves. And then, obviously Diego Gomez, Robert Taylor, they get the goals. And it was a good first game. Suarez got the assist and so did Messi. So that was a positive because, Suarez and Messi didn't score. So that's a good thing heading into the rest of the season that they could have other players score and not have to rely on Messi like they had to do against the Galaxy. The Galaxy game. That one was a tough one, honestly. I think that Miami, I don't know. I think they didn't come in I think they came in too nonchalant. I don't think I believe that they thought they were going to come in and dominate possession and get consistent chances off, which is what they want to do with, Messi, Suarez up top. They don't really have the pace to counter like that. I mean, there's Robert Taylor, but, he can only do so much.
Yeah.
And I think that Miami, I think it's less of like they signed this new player, Federico Redondo, who is basically a Busquets regen, a defensive midfielder who's really good at progressing the ball. So I think it's less to do with, I know people are going to say it's defense, but in soccer, it's, the entire team has a part to play. So if offense isn't clicking, it's going to trickle back towards the defense. And last night, Busquets had a couple of giveaways that led to the defense scrambling. So I know a lot of people like to call out the defenders, but that wouldn't have happened had Busquets would progress the ball a little bit up the field and got it to Messi or Suarez or Robert Taylor. So I think Miami's main issue these first two games are bad midfield giveaways that leads to transition moments where the defense is scrambling, and that's not what they want to do. Busquets in the middle. You think he's going to be a safe pair of ball progression, but he's giving away these balls, and it wasn't good. So yeah, it was a poor game from them. But I think in the long run, for Miami, these are the games that you need to get points off of, especially early in the season before the schedule really starts to ramp up, before Messi goes to Copa America and all that jazz. So, it wasn't a well-played game, and I know Tata Martino last night, the coach, he spoke about how they're going to come back to Miami and work on a ton of things. It wasn't the best-played game, but, they got a point away from home against a Galaxy team that should have beat them. Kudos to Drake Callender, kudos to Messi for scoring the goal, Jordi Alba as well for the assist. But, yeah, it was a poor game for Miami, but, they got the draw, and they will undoubtedly come back to Miami and fix what they need to fix. And heck, maybe they could even trade for other players. I know the window's still technically open. They have some assets that other MLS teams could use. So this roster isn't finished, and I don't think it's the finished product for Miami either. My take.
I'm gonna say three things. My first, this is a non-serious one. My first one, if you guys, I didn't even know there was gonna be a halftime show yesterday during this game. It was so random.
I was confused.
It was like, listening to Alesso. And I'm like, I've seen Alesso in person before at the Live Golf Invitational here in Miami. It was great. Was a little confused why that was happening in a random opening night game, but okay. And it was at the beginning they had a Mexican song playing, and I was like, well, is this it? Is this what he's starting with? And then right when he started, I don't know if you guys saw it, but the flashes of light, I was like, oh, I am blind right now. So it was really weird. Yeah, it was really, really strange. I would say for the Salt Lake game, I think they definitely played a lot better than they did in this game last night against LA. I feel like Salt Lake had a lot of chances, especially in that second half, to try to have gotten multiple goals. Chicho Arango, I mean, I just think they messed up. Like, it was their fault that they couldn't score. What worries me most, again, like what worries me most about this team is the defense. But you're on point, Alex, where you said that they've been giving the ball away in really bad areas from the midfield and from Busquets especially. But I feel like maybe Busquets is giving the ball away in bad areas because he's having to run a lot more. But I think the signing of Federico Redondo is going to help that because he's like a Busquets. So would you rather have one Busquets or two Busquets? Two is better than one. And like he won't, I don't think Sergio Busquets will have to run as much as he is doing right now once Redondo gets into the lineup. So that's something I noticed. Talking about the LA, so finishing off Salt Lake, I feel like it was if it was a team that had a really lethal striker, would have put that game to bed and punished them. But Salt Lake doesn't have it. I love Arango, but honestly, I feel like Arango should have stayed in LAFC and not should have gone to RSL. LA game last night. Yeah, LA was putting so much pressure in that game. But ultimately, I think I was seeing the same situation that I saw with RSL. If Ricky Puig does not take control of that game for LA or does it himself, like, they're not going to do anything. It's either Ricky Puig takes over and puts it on his back or they don't do anything because Paintsale, like, bro.
He was wasteful.
Bro.
Yeah.
Put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah.
Like, what was he doing? And then, man, I forgot his name. What's the Serbian's kid's name?
Jovic?
Yeah, Jovic. Mm-hmm. He did nothing.
No.
He did nothing. And he's supposed to be their star player. I think that LA is going to have trouble this year in terms of finding out who's going to be the guy. You know, now that Chicharito's gone, who's going to be the guy that steps up? Because the thing is, Ricky Puig can't do it all by himself. And we saw flashes of brilliance from him last night, but he can't do it all by himself. So I saw another RSL type situation. Also, LA doesn't have the best defense either.
Yeah, look at the goal they gave away at the last minute. Albeit it is messy, but like, how do you even defend that? Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
I will say I was very happy to see John McCarthy. I was like, man, he's gone so far. Like, it was like a proud dad moment. He was on the team when I worked there. And I was like, and I still love his Instagram name. It's great. JMacDaddy1. I love John McCarthy. So I was happy. And he had some good saves last night. So I'm happy to see him out there starting. For Miami, yeah. I think in the first half, like, Messi barely even touched the ball. Like, it was a rough first half. I will say I am happy that they brought in Leo Campana earlier this time.
Yeah, over Suarez.
And then here's the thing. Suarez is upset about coming off. I'm like, guy, you didn't even do anything.
Yeah, no. It wasn't his game, honestly.
Alex, it hurts me. It hurts me to see him try to run. He can't run.
Yeah, he is slow. Even in Brazil, like, he ran like that. I don't know. Maybe the team was more tailored to him, but in MLS, you need, like, to be a little bit more athletic. Cool. Like, you see Busquets struggling, Suarez struggling. Messi's fine because Messi, but yeah.
It's a physical league. And I had that same thought today. I'm like, how did he get 26 goals in Brazil unless they were using him as a natural 9 and just literally kept him in the box and said stay there? And he had a bunch
pretty much, yeah.
Had a bunch of tap-ins, but it hurts to see him try to run. Like, you see him, he's like, like, it's bad. It's bad. And if it was up to me, I would love to see Campana start over him, but obviously I don't think that's going to happen because they've invested in Suarez and having him paired up with Messi. Robert Taylor, I still love Robert Taylor. I think that he has flourished ever since Messi's arrival. I think that he's done great ever since Messi's arrival, so I want to keep him on the field. But other than that, I mean, Drake. Last thing, Drake Callender. Man, he is the let me tell you, I think he was the best player on the field for Miami. Like, he's the reason why LA did not score more goals was because of Drake Callender. He had some amazing saves. But other than that, yeah, the defense and the giveaways continues to be my main concern. Jonka, the floor is yours.
Man, how am I supposed to top Alex's take? Jeez.
It's all right.
When I turned the TV on, man, my Apple TV subscription, and had to watch 90 minutes of that. My heart was beating out of my chest like those Looney Tune cartoons. Vroom, vroom, vroom. I didn't know what was gonna happen. That first half, I had to walk out of my house because I couldn't do it. I like literally after that 45 minutes, I had to go outside and just breathe a little bit because it was just too much. Okay, that out of the way. Campana needs to start. I like Gomez, but I would start Campana over Gomez. I know Redondo's going to be coming in. Personally, I would like Busquets off the bench. And then once Redondo is kind of already done, then you can use his long experience with like maybe in the 70th minute, he'll give you a good 20 minutes. And he'll have plenty of energy because these guys are getting old already. You can't be placing him in those situations for 70 minutes of straight Busquets. We saw what happened those first two games. The guy was getting beat. And then Suarez, hey, you're coming from a league that is not as physical, not as fast paced as the MLS. So I think I think right now he's in a shock of just how much he has to put the effort in to be getting these attempts. Maybe he needs to fix that limp first of all. So maybe I'd maybe keep Gomez on and then start Campana over Suarez and let him come off the bench also. Give these young guys an opportunity to get the experience, get some playing time, and then let's see what Messi can do with these young guys who have energy that could make runs, can spread the field, open those holes up, and maybe put the ball behind the net. And then maybe this team could actually prosper. And you can use the veteran guys to come in with those last couple minutes. Maybe if you need some extra, you need to park the bus and you have a 2-1 lead or something. Whatever you need. I just feel like Tata is not using these young guys to their full potential. And another thing, I don't like Christoph. I think he needs to go. I would trade him for a younger guy or maybe two younger guys or something because he's not it. He's also getting beat. Gomez had to pick up his slack. From what I saw, that's what was going on. He just couldn't catch up. I don't know what else to say. I mean, that second half, they played way better, to be honest, against LA Galaxy. And I think they had the halftime show because it was their first game of the season. So I think that's why they were celebrating.
I want to ask Alex. I'm gonna put you on the spot. Do you think that Tata is the guy?
Yeah, because he's won an MLS before.
He's
won MLS Cup, so I don't think he can find a better manager.
He did win with Atlanta. I'll give him that. Because I know a lot of people have said did terrible with Mexico, did terrible with Barcelona, couldn't win in Argentina, but the one place he has won was in MLS.
In Paraguay. He coached their national team and they won some stuff, I think.
Yeah.
Or did well. Better than. Yeah. But yeah, Tata, I think he's the type of manager where he's coached the Big Four before. He's won in MLS. He's won multiple trophies in MLS. He's familiar with the league. That was a problem with Phil Neville. is that he came in from England and didn't know how the roster rules worked, and Miami suffered because of that with player acquisition. Even this offseason, like all of Phil Neville's players that he brought in like Stefanelli, McVay, a couple others, they were sold because like Coco Jean, those were all Phil Neville signings that are now not with the team because they didn't have a place. So on Tata, I think he's coached the Big Four before. He's won an MLS, and he's the type of manager to like. He's like I don't know, like this is probably like a terrible comparison, but like he's a man manager, less so of a tactician. Like he's going to set up a team, but he's more of a they got to figure their way out of situations instead of like a Pep Guardiola where he's going to coach passing patterns for their players to robotically go through. Like Tata's going to set them up in a situation and have specific things that he wants them to do, but at the end of the day, the players need to be smart enough to figure that out, and which is why you see sometimes you see players moving in the midfield, especially like Busquets will be playing on the wing, and you have Gressel dropping as the 6, and Yedlin's tucking in. It's really a fluid thing that he wants them to play. So I can see why fans are maybe not happy, but that's just Tata's coaching style, and I think that's I can't see any other manager that would be able to do it. I know Lionel Scaloni, the Argentina coach, said he's interested in coaching in MLS, but I don't know if he doesn't know the roster rules and the travel, and it's an adjustment. So maybe, I don't know, but for now, Tata is the choice going forward.
I kind of think the team isn't using the new addition Julian Gressel as much. I feel like he has really good passing, he has playmaking ability, but I think they're leaving too much on Messi to create the plays. And I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah, I agree.
Like they were like somewhat around the box, and then they just kept trying to look for Messi to do something. I'm like, bro, like get in the box, try to get a header in, cross it. They've refused to cross it. I don't understand.
Yeah. No, yeah, like Miami used to be a really cross-heavy team, and I think like Tata, like I think this is like a Big Four type. They're trying to keep it on the ground, and they only started crossing it like Janka like at the end of the game where I think Gressel and Yedlin put a few crosses to Campana. So I think as the season progresses, we're gonna see them evolve. But I agree with your analysis there.
Man, and I'm excited. It's usually, I mean, last year it happened near mid season, but we're getting treated to the game against Orlando City so early on in the year. I love it. What do you think? Like, what do you think that game is going to be like?
Oh man, I think Miami is going to come out and try to like score like 4 or 5 past them. Honestly, Chase Stadium is such a good home field advantage. It's selling out. 21K was the last.
Yep.
The attendance, and I think Miami will fare better against Orlando. They didn't look like Orlando's going to be good, but they don't have a DP number 10 that can dictate that. They signed Lodero, but he's also older. They have Facundo Torres, but he's more so of a winger, and he needs to be fed passes as well. And plus, it's going to be intense atmosphere. I think Miami will have that one, and I think it'll be a really good game. I will be going to that game, so hopefully it'll be a good one.
I probably the only player I like from Orlando is their goalkeeper, Pedro Galese. I think he's good. I think he's really good, and he's exciting to watch. But it's gonna be a good game against Orlando. It's a rivalry game. We're getting treated to a rivalry game so early on in the season. I'm happy about that, spicing things up. And I think we have Montreal after that, which will be interesting to see because that's where Joseph Martinez is at now. I'm not sure if he's liking the cold weather, but it'll be interesting to see. It's also interesting to see Phil started out his debut with the Portland Timbers with a 4-1 win, I believe, over Colorado. So happy for Phil. Saw Phil at the airport coming back from MLS All-Star, and I'm glad he remembered me, and he was very nice. Look, I can't, I didn't like him as a coach, but as a person, I liked Phil.
Yeah, he's nice.
Phil was really nice. But anyways, that's going to be all the time we have here on episode 129 of Plug Talk Sports. Again, thank you, Alex, for joining us tonight and being gracious with your time. Of course, we appreciate everyone that tunes in and week out. We hope that you guys continue to follow us and check us out on all of our social media. And as always, we'll see you next week and have a great rest of your week. Good night.
Support